Son of a... I'm gonna report this to YouTube. Put me down. What the fuck? When the audience says, make this more entertaining, it doesn't mean fuck around with the editing.
One of the biggest surprises of 2024 may have just hit a massive roadblock. According to a new report, Alien Romulus 2 may have been indefinitely shelved, and if that's true, the future of this storyline suddenly looks a lot less certain. Now, before everyone starts throwing face huggers at me, let's make one thing clear. This has not been officially confirmed by 20th Century Studios. This comes from World of Real, citing a source claiming there's currently no path forward for the sequel. And honestly, when you look at everything that's happened behind the scenes, it's not hard to see why people are worried. After Alien Romulus became a hit, director Fede Alvarez and writer Rodo Sayagues were already developing the follow-up. Everything seemed to be moving along. Then, everything changed. Last year, Alvarez unexpectedly stepped away from directing. He stayed on as a producer, but suddenly the project needed a new filmmaker. The studio reportedly approached Sebastian Vanacek, the director behind Evil Dead Burn. Those talks reportedly fell apart. Now the movie is sitting without a director, and according to this latest report, it may not be moving at all. What's really interesting is the rumor that's been floating around for months. Apparently, Alvarez wanted to bring back Michael Fassbender's David from Prometheus and Alien Covenant. Producer Ridley Scott reportedly wasn't on board because he may still want to use David himself if he returns to the franchise. Again, that's a rumor. But if true, that's a pretty major creative disagreement. David is one of the biggest unresolved pieces of Alien lore. If one filmmaker wants him, and another wants to save him for something else, that could completely change the direction of a sequel. Meanwhile, 20th Century Studios isn't abandoning Alien altogether. Screenwriter Brian Duffield, who's also directing Whalefall, is reportedly writing an entirely different Alien movie that the studio is very interested in. So instead of continuing Romulus, they could simply pivot to another story. That happens more often than fans realize. Studios don't necessarily cancel franchises. Sometimes they just change tracks. There's another problem too. Time. The stars of Romulus, Kaylee Spaney and David Janssen, have both become much busier since the movie released. The longer a sequel sits on a shelf, the harder it becomes to get everyone back together. Schedules change, priorities change, momentum disappears. Personally, I think shelving Romulus 2 would be disappointing. The first movie managed to bring a lot of fans back together after years of division over the Alien franchise. Whether you loved every decision or not, it felt like the series had finally found solid ground again. Stopping that momentum now feels risky. But on the other hand, if the studio genuinely believes there's a stronger Alien story waiting to be told, I'd rather they take their time than rush out a sequel that nobody's happy with. So for now, treat this as exactly what it is, a report, not an official cancellation. Until 20th Century Studios says otherwise, Alien Romulus 2 isn't dead. It's just looking more uncertain than it did a few months ago. But what do you think? Should the studio keep pushing forward with Romulus 2? Or would you rather see an entirely new Alien story instead? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this update, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.